Hello, folks. I have something fun to show you today. You know what? I love spring is coming and it's just around the corner. And I have a neighbor who brought me this beautiful plant this week. So I have just had to paint this thing. So I didn't plan on doing the 300-pound paper, but I did. I put it on my board again and we're doing the 300-pound paper today. So, last time when I did your last video, and it'll be showing here shortly, what I did is I put the Misket where I was gonna paint the flowers, and then we painted all the background, and then we took the Misket off and we painted the flowers. Well, this time I've painted all the flowers, and this time we're going to paint the background after the flowers have been painted. So in order to do that, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I've got this big silver black velvet brush. This is it's just called the jumbo round, and that's exactly what it is. But look at that, good point. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to wet this really good. Really needs to be wet. Now, I think I mentioned that to you last time, and it is amazing to me that this paper is bumpier than what my paper that I usually paint on with this. It's not usually this bumpy. It really isn't. But this 300-pound is very bumpy. Okay, so that's now with this big jumbo. I'm not going close up to those flowers because I do not want to smear that. So I'm going this just in the parts where it's just really not close to the flowers. Now I'm going to pick up my other little brush, and then I will go close to the flowers. So I'm going to lay that thing aside for right now. And I'm going to take, I think I'll take my number 8. I mean, I may need to change to my other smaller brush, but for right now, and it's got a nice point, but I want to go clear up. I need to go clear up to all those little flowers. Yeah, I think I can do that with my number 8. But it really is important when you're doing this, when you're going to come back in and you're going to add some background, it's really important to make it very wet. So you can see I'm having to go clear down here in all this spot because we need background down there. So, oh, look at this little tiny space. And I've gotten a little piece of fuzz. I want to tell you something. I'm just thinking of that because of having that little piece of fuzz on there. Whenever something happens that you get a little piece of fuzz, or you maybe a little hair off of your brush comes off, and you think, oh, that stuck to my paper, I don't like that. Let me tell you, it's better to wait until your paper is clear dry, and then you can put your fingernail down there or something else just really gently and just pick it up. If you try to do it while it's wet, what will happen is you'll make a spot on your paper and then you've got a problem. So don't do that. If you get a hair or you get a piece of fuzz, just let it dry. Now what I'm doing, this is helping me to see this here because I'm being very careful that it's shiny. If it's shiny, then I can tell that it's wet enough. Wherever it's not shiny enough, that means I didn't get enough water. And the other thing is, we've got the fireplace on because it's still cool enough inside the house that we've got the fireplace on. And when it's too dry, too hot, then your paper dries fast. So sometimes it might be that by the time I've gone all close to all these little flowers, I'm going to have to come back in here and add some more water because it dries out so fast. So it's staying pretty wet up there at the top. So I'm going to just keep going down here till I get this really wet. And I know this takes a little bit of time, but you know what? It's important to have it wet because if you don't, your background will not blend nicely. And it really is, your background really, it accentuates your foreground stuff. See, now look at that right there. Already I touched that pink and it already blended into that. So I'm gonna go up there and just blot it, and then I'm gonna try to come back to it. See, look at that. It doesn't take any time at all for it to blend out, and I don't want it to do that. So we'll try to control that, but that's the part of the challenge of just getting your water just up to, it's like when we did the clouds. Remember when we did the clouds and you bring the clouds just down to the mountains? Well, it's the same kind of thing for this. Wherever you have put your water, that's where your paint's gonna run. Now I'm gonna tip this a little bit so I can make sure. Now this little feathery stuff, I'm gonna go in here. You know what? I'm gonna use my smaller brush to do that because I need to go in all these little tiny edges right here. And I don't want to get that messed up. So my little brush will just help me just be a little closer. And I hope you like the background I have in mind doing. I think it'll just make these flowers, oh my, when we start seeing all this spring stuff coming, it's something else. Well, I'll tell you what, that looks pretty wet. Looks pretty good. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I was going to do it ahead, and then I thought, no, I want to wait because I want to show you how to do it. I'm going to have a tickle in my throat, so I'm going to take a drink. Oh, good water. Okay, so I have this really wet. You see that it's shiny. When you've done it, if it's not still shiny, then you've got to add some more water. But it looks, well, see now this down here. Okay, I've got to add more water there. Boy, that goes fast. See, this brush just had so much more water in it. The top part is staying wet better than it is down here lower. So it may be that after I've done that, we may have to come back. If we have to, we'll just touch it up. But the top looks good and wet, and I want to show you because I think this will be so neat. When we have the flowers, and my today, the sun shining, it's so beautiful out there. Our blue sky, and I'm not going to make the blue sky because you wouldn't see it close to these flowers, but you are going to see the sun shining. So I'm going to take in my dish right here, I'm going to put some gamboge. Okay, look at that gamboge. That looks awful dark, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But then I'm going to take some of this Harrell with it because that'll lighten it up some. Okay, and then I'm going to put some more water with it. Now, if I had done this without wetting it and we put that yellow on there, it'd be too bright. But because I have wet it and I've added water to it and it's softer, we can make a soft sun come into these flowers. When I first planted or painted this thing, those red flowers were just buds. And look at them now, how they've blown up. They're just, and even they've blown up more. They're just fuller. Now, this afternoon, I have got to paint those things before they're gone. I've got to. Okay, so here we go. Here's my, and it's still wet. It's still shiny. So here we go. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to softly bring this. Oh my. Oh. Look at the sun shining on those flowers. And I'm going to try to bring it just down to the flowers. I may have to do that with my little brush to make it so soft. I don't want it to shout. I don't want it to compete with these flowers. It's got to be very, very soft. Because if it competes, then it takes away from your center of interest. My center of interest is these flowers, not that yellow sunshine shining through there. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, I like it. Now, I want to tell you, as I come down further, I'm going to make it darker. but I want to come in here just a little bit with this light. Now see this water is already, it is drying so fast. I can't believe it. It's just drying fast. And so it makes the color brighter. So, but I want it darker at the bottom. It's just nice to have it darker. So I'm going to have part of that, but over here in my palette, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some quinacridone gold. And you think, well, that's just too dark. Well, it'll blend. It'll blend all right with this. So I'm going to come down here and just blend it right around this pot. Okay? And I think to be really safe, I'm going to come back in here with my little brush, and I'm going to come in there just a little bit where the sun shines through that. Oh my, it could be darker. You know what? Well, let me come over here, and then now look, there's that's more what it needs to be. I didn't do it dark enough on the other side. Okay, I'm going to use my other brush. See, I've got those lines right there. I'm going to blend that so it's not a line. Yeah. And see, there's a little speck. Well, it came up. But if it didn't, I would wait till it's done. Now that I see that that's good there, I'm going to do that over here. We're going to do this darker here. I want that to match. It just needs to, well, it kind of gives it a base, is what it does. Okay? Now, I'm going to blend this right here just a little bit with my wet brush. And then I'm going to come in here and let's see. Yeah, see, this is just wet enough. I can come, and I think I can come right up to that green. I don't think that'll hurt that a bit. Won't hurt it a bit. And even if that green blends a little bit, it's different from that pink blending up there. I don't want that pink to blend like that. I don't want it to blend. Oh my, I think it's pretty nice. I kind of like it. I don't know about you, but I think that's soft, and it gives a nice background without shouting. Don't want it to shout, because the only thing that's shouting on this painting is those flowers. They're just saying, look, I'm telling you, in case you don't know it, it's spring. That's what they're telling you. Now, I'm going to come in with this number 8 brush again, and I'm going to just blend this. You know what? I think I'll wait till that's dry, and I think I'll come back in just very, very gently, because otherwise I'm going to pull that pink out, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess it up. Oh, look, now there's a speck right there. I got it with my brush. Otherwise, I would just wait. Now, I want to show you something. You know what? You know how I like the watercolor pencils. So this time, I have already done with my little tiny brush. What I did is I did some of this tannish color, and I just did little swirls with my brush straight up like that. Well, it's just not quite enough to suit me. So let me show you what I did. I got this little watercolor pencil, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a lot. I'm going to do very little, but I'm just going to make some little swirls with that, because it just needs a little bit more. And it seems like it's not exactly the color of that, but I think it needs the contrast of that. So it's kind of a brownish color. It's called terracotta, and ordinarily I don't think I would use it, but I think it works because it just needs a touch. So that's all I'm doing, to just kind of add just a little bit. And you can overdo it. You have to kind of know when is it time to stop. Now see, when I get it up here where the water is, it makes it a lot darker, but down here this stuff's dry, so that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my ink. Oh my, sometimes just a touch of the ink just adds so much. So, and ordinarily I don't use the number 5, but this time I'm using number 5. And this is my Micron. It's an archival pen, And the thing that's so neat about this, now say for instance I decided I have to paint those red tulips over here. Well, I'm not going to, because I've already got those as they were buds. But my next little painting I am gonna do those red tulips. But if I had decided to do the ink, and then if I had decided to do the red and make these bigger, I could do it with this, and it wouldn't make this smear or all that. But because I want to accent some of this, look at this. I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to outline everything. I'm just going to put a touch of ink here and there, just a little bit, just to kind of accent these leaves. And I'm going to come up in these flowers in a little bit. And I'm not going to do a lot. It's really important. Don't just try to outline everything. You're just kind of making some accents. See, I'm doing this kind of in between here so it shows that leaf that's in front of that other one, and there we've got that stem. And I want to be careful. I don't want to get it into where my paint is and my paper is already wet. But I'm going to just accent it a little bit. I think it just adds a touch. It's not very much, but it's amazing how just a little bit can make a difference. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell exactly, well, is that a front leaf or is that a back leaf? Well, I don't know if it really matters, but when you're painting it, you want to make it look as right as you can. And this little guy down here, it doesn't show in this one, but in that other little container, it showed that this is a little, I think that's a crocus coming up. Well, maybe that's a crocus. I don't know. But I can't wait. When those things are done blooming, they're going to go in my flower garden. How about that? That'll be pretty neat, I think. And then they won't bloom again this year. But you know what? I'm going to be watching for those jiggers. I'm going to be watching for those things blooming. Next spring, they're going to bloom and they will be beautiful. Now look, it's only taken a short while to do that. And see the touch it's met? Now I'm going to do a tiny bit, and really a tiny bit, on the little tulips. This little guy, see how he's fallen over? But when we were painting him first, he was just a little bloom like that. He doesn't need very much, and I don't want to put very much on these. Just a touch. Just a touch. I mean, oh my, you don't want to do too much. And then I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to do a little thing there. I think that's enough for that one. Now let's fix some over here so we can tell kind of where these petals go. Oh my, aren't they beautiful? I wish they lasted longer. I think out in the garden, the tulips really last pretty good out in the garden, but not in the house like this. I think it just gets too hot for them. What I think I want to do is I want to put a little bit in here, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And if you haven't done any calligraphy and you would like to do some of that, one of these days I'm going to do just some calligraphy stuff for you. But look what I'm going to do today. I just have to do this today. I thought it would be fun to simply say, spring is sprung. I don't know whether sprung is the right word, but that's what I'm going to say. I think I want to use this bigger one. And I'm going to put this on this pot. Why not? I can say spring is sprung if I want to say spring is sprung. Now, I'm going to say spring is sprung. So I think I better start right over here. Let's see if this guy's going to be too wide. That guy might be wider than I think. I guess I'll go on the other end. See, it has two different ends. Now this thing says that it is acid-free, light fast, and waterproof, fade-proof, non-bleeding. So we're going to trust it, okay? I'm not going to get it wet. But here we go. Spring. Okay. Boy, if I misspell this, I'm in trouble, aren't I? Huh? Then, how would I fix it? Forget it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And see, I could have put it over further. I could have, you know what I could have done? It would have been good. Just a minute. Sprung. S-P-R-U-N-G. Oh my, have to say it out loud. Are you like that? Oh my. Okay, S-P-R-U-N-G. And then because I have more room over here, I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna put some exclamation points. How's that? We'll cheat. How about that? I think that's worth putting exclamation points. Oh my. So, you know what? Nothing happens if you don't try it. Just try it. You might find it's kind of fun. I think that says it. Spring is sprung. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to look out in my garden in probably a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I'll bet it won't be long till the tulips that I have out there are going to be popping up, and they're going to say to me, spring is sprung. How about that? I look forward to seeing you next time. I hope you've enjoyed today. I've enjoyed being with you. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, and I'd appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you.